want to take a moment and address an underreported issue that you've probably never seen in the news media. Right now, tuition rates are at record highs, and the Obama administration is working to lower tuition rates by incentivizing schools that cost less per credit hour, as well as trying to keep the tuition loan interest rates at the 3% range. Those interest rates are expected to increase unless Congress acts on those. And at the moment, when college education is so expensive, federal Pell grants are being awarded to students who are attending seminaries across the nation. And this is a clear violation of church and state. A 2002 press release from the Department of Education states, the federal government has a long history of giving private and religious groups taxpayer support when they serve the secular public interest. The education system is just catching up. And that's the introduction to a long article, and this is during the Bush administration, and that is in line with the faith-based initiative that President Bush was enacting during his administration. And while the government has a long history of inappropriately mingling church and state, it doesn't mean that it's right. For example, the United States also has a long history with slavery. Prospective students of these religious institutions are eligible to complete the free application for federal student aid and use the funds dispersed to them towards clearly sectarian degrees that serve no secular public interest. For example, the Alaska Bible College is a regionally accredited college and as such is eligible to receive federal funding. The degree programs they offer are Bachelor of Arts degree in Biblical Studies in Christian Ministries, a Bible certificate, which is a 1-year program, a Bible ministry certificate, which is a 2-year program, and an Associate of Arts degree. While this Associate of Arts degree sounds secular enough, let's take a look at the course requirements. As you can see, you're required to take 21 credit hours of Bible course studies. You have 9 credit hours of ministry course requirements. They do have some general education requirements, and let's take a look at those. Wow, you got composition 1 and 2, speech. Well, that's important. College math. In any non-profit community college, college math is a remedial course. You'd have to take college algebra to receive your Associate in Arts degree. I bet that lab science class is a winner right there. And you also have to take 4 semesters of Christian ministry training. The student handbook for this so-called college is freely available on the internet. Here's an excerpt from the Standards for Sexual Expression section in their student handbook. Quote, "Sex is one of God's good gifts, and He intends for us to enjoy it fully within the protective bounds of marriage. Sexual intercourse and other forms of intensely interpersonal sexual activity are reserved for the intimate relationship of a husband and wife. The Alaskan Bible College encourages students to maintain wholesome relationships with members of the opposite sex. Our society tends to emphasize the physical aspect of relationships with the opposite sex and minimize interpersonal aspects. Interpersonal relationships are best cultivated without the distractions that come with physical intimacy." This is recognized. This is a recognized educational institution in the United States that receives federal funding, and it's allowed to discriminate on the basis of religion and sexual orientation. More insulting is the excerpt from the Alaska Bible College website scholarships and grants section, and you can navigate there yourself if you like. It says, quote, "Alaska Bible College participates in the Pell Grant program, a need-based program funded by the U.S. Department of Education." Blah, 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 and to the point. Here's what it says. It says, "A grant is, quote, free money in that a student does not pay it back to the school or the government. The Financial Aid Office can answer questions about the Pell Grant." Perhaps they are dumbing down the wording of this paragraph for their prospective students, but to correct the institution, the Pell Grant is not, quote, free money. It is money the U.S. federal government provides for students who need it to pay for college. The U.S. federal government is secular in nature, and in this case is obviously providing funds to a sectarian institution. Let's take a look at another example. The Central Bible College of Missouri can also accept Pell Grant funds, and it is an accredited institution. Here's a passage from their student handbook, which is also freely available online. Practices which are known to be morally wrong by biblical teaching are not acceptable for members of the college community. Included are specific acts such as drunkenness, stealing, the use of slanderous or profane language, and all forms of dishonesty, including cheating, occult practices, and sexual sins such as premarital sex, adultery, and homosexual behavior. Now, this is in the same handbook that lists their non-discrimination policy, and that reads as such. Central Bible College does not discriminate on the basis of race, color, national origin, sex, religion, veteran status, marital status, pregnancy, age, or disability in the educational programs. Now, wait a minute. I thought that premarital sex was not tolerated. Does this mean that you will or will not be kicked out if you have a child out of wedlock? To point out a few other ridiculous requirements of students at this school, let's take a look at a couple more quotes in their handbook. Quote, students should not stand near or talk through an open window of the opposite sex. Who knows what that'll lead to. And here's another one. Any dancing or participation in social settings such as clubs, bars, lounges, and raves, or sexually explicit dancing in any setting is considered a violation of the Central Baptist College's behavioral standards and are not permitted. So you can't dance at this school, basically. Let's take a look at one more example of a sectarian secondary school that is siphoning federal funding. The example here is the Baptist Bible College of Pennsylvania. This is also in their student handbook, which is freely available online. Quote, dismissal can be expected for the following. And, there's a couple good things in here that you'd expect them to dismiss you for, but here's sexual misconduct, including but not limited to sexual relations outside of marriage, homosexual acts, and sexual assault, and here's another one: having an abortion or assisting in the arrangement for one. So if you go to the Baptist Bible College in Pennsylvania, if you have an abortion, they're going to kick you out of school, even if you're there on the Pell Grant. Here's some inane rules that you can also find in their student handbook. Quote, swimwear is only appropriate at the swimming pool. Students are to wear appropriate shorts and shirt going to and from the pool. Women are required to wear one-piece swimsuits that are not cut high on the legs or low in the front or back. Men are not to wear spandex suits or Speedos. So if you're a woman, you're going to love your nice one-piece suits that you're going to be required to wear at that school. If you wear a two-piece, you're going to get disciplined. Here's another quote that's also in their handbook. Men are encouraged to wear a tie and or sport coat to church services. That's because Jesus wore a sport coat, right? Here's a little history on why these so-called colleges are able to sidestep the church-state separation issue. It's due to the fact that they're receiving federal funding. They must adhere to the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 protects people from discrimination based on race, color, national origin, and programs or activities that receive federal funding or financial assistance. The Title VI states that no person in the United States shall, on the grounds of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. The Title VI of the Civil Rights Act does not include protections for discrimination based on religion or sexual orientation. This is where the infringement of the rights of atheists or other religious groups and the LGBT community intersect. Religious organizations don't like either group very much, and this isn't just irreligious individuals. that are affected. Obviously, Muslims, Mormons wouldn't be able to attend an evangelical Protestant college, I'm sure, unless they adhered to their student guidelines. But there is a silver lining on this cloud that in 2010, the former Senator Arlen Specter attempted to amend Title VI by prohibiting discrimination on the ground of religion in educational programs and activities. Unfortunately, that bill died in committee. The committee in question was the Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions. The bill was also introduced the very next day. It was sponsored by 3 Democrats, Representative Brad Sherman of California, Representative Elliot Engel of New York, and Representative Gary Peters of Michigan. This bill also died in committee. This committee was the House Committee on the Judiciary. Why does this bill never make it past committee? It's because politicians do not want to spend the political capital necessary to pass a bill like this. Because it's controversial. They believe if they try to pass this bill or they vote on it, they'll be kicked out of office the next election. Some more history on the subject. The group TRACS, which stands for the Transnational Association of Christian Colleges and Schools, became an officially recognized accreditation agency in 1991 when it was approved by the then U.S. Education Secretary Lamar Alexander. This is under the first the Bush senior administration. TRACS requires all accredited schools to have a statement of faith that affirms the quote, the inerrancy and historicity of the Bible and the divine work of non-evolutionary creation, including persons in God's image. So they're young earth creationists, and they're officially recognized by the Department of Education. While being a member of TRACS does not automatically mean that these schools are receiving federal funding, schools that are receiving federal funds do not have to follow Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and are still recognized as an accredited institution. Many of these institutions are seeking regional accreditation and as such would be able to accept federal funding while still discriminating on the basis of religion and sexual orientation. This, I argue, is not serving a secular purpose. What is evident, however, is that non-discrimination policies are not being enforced in schools that are receiving federal funding. While the counter-argument would be that most Americans are Christian, so what's the big deal? Most taxpayers are Christian. The colleges I have just pointed out are evangelical Protestant schools that do not agree with the modern tenets of Catholicism. The Catholic Church has recently come out in favor of evolution, and there are famous priests that have stated that the Bible does not teach science. Modern science came about in the 19th century onwards, and the Bible is obviously 4,000 and 2,000 years old for the Old and the New Testament. According to the latest Pew Religion poll, which you can find available on the internet, only 51% of Americans are Protestant Christians. Over the next few years, I predict that this number will fall below 50%, and the Protestants of this nation will fall into a minority religion category for the first time, like every other religion. Even most Protestants in this country would not agree with to the codes of conduct of these organizations. If you're a liberal Christian, please feel free read the codes of conduct for students at these schools and ask yourself if they should be receiving federal funding. Clearly, institutions that offer degrees of little or no real-world value and that discriminate on the basis of religion or sexual orientation should not be receiving federal funding. And since the legislators that we vote into office are afraid to stop providing these schools with tax dollars, perhaps the judiciary should take this case in the form of a lawsuit. At the moment, the issues we read about in the paper involve primary schools, which should be ardently defended. Such as the case of Jessica Alquist, we should not forget that public funds are also being funded to these bigoted organizations that claim to have some sort of monopoly on morality. To be clear, I am not arguing that these institutions should be shut down. I want to protect the separation of church and state. If people want to go to these clown colleges and collect their Mickey Mouse degrees, have at it, Hoss. Do it with your own money. Get a scholarship from a religious organization if you're in need. Don't come asking the federal government for a Pell Grant. Closer to home, where I live, the Pensacola Christian College of Florida is currently seeking regional accreditation. I'm afraid they'll achieve this goal. I'd like you to take a look at their propaganda video that's posted on their website. It'll be listed in the description. I'll directly link to it. If you're a Christian, before you jump to accusing me of being anti-Christian, I'll go ahead and admit I am. But take a moment and watch the video on the PCC website, and I'd like you to replace the word Bible with Quran. I'd like you to replace the words Jesus and Lord with Muhammad. Replace the word Christian with Muslim. Would you want your tax dollars funding that type of organization? At this time, an Islamic college could operate under Sharia law and receive tax dollars just the same as the organizations I've listed. Think about it.